Well, lots of stuff happened during the off season, but I'm heated about some of the stuff, but I'm going to be trying to do it in a quiet manner. So, for now, let's get this discussion started. Let's rock. All right, what's going on, guys? My name's Antonio, and today we are doing beginning a topic series of what I am ticked off about during the NFL offseason. This is NFL offseason edition. Now, this series is going to be based off stuff that I saw in the season or during the season that kind of got me triggered. So, this is kind of like a heated segment. I'm going to be doing this every Tuesday when the season starts. So, I want to mention two things before we get this video started. First, if you guys do enjoy this video, I am trying to hit for 375 subscribers before the beginning of the NFL season, which is on September 5th of the Ravens going against the Chiefs. So if you guys do enjoy this video, please be sure to smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. But for now, let's get this top 5 heated stuff started. So starting us off at number 5. So this one touched me a little bit because it's on America's team, which is the Dallas Cowboys. How about Malik Hooker? Right? Because during a segment on Keyshawn Johnson's podcast, he was asked about he was asked about the progress that they were making to get to the Super Bowl. And here was what Malik Hooker had to say about Micah Parsons.
Micah, my advice would be for Micah would be, just make sure we're all right, and being where your feet are. Because if we're at work and, the run game's terrible, but you're doing a podcast every week, and the run game is terrible, then, what are you really caring about? Are you caring about the crowd that is watching your podcast? Are you caring about the success of our team and the Super Bowl that we're trying to reach?
So, how do you say that when the whole media is watching? The fans, the media themselves, and including Stephen A. Smith, by the way. How do you say that in front of millions of people watching that podcast where you know it's going to get headlines? Well, why do you even say that in the first place? Because this is what drives people crazy about the Cowboys. They get all the attention for all the wrong reasons. And Malik Hooker calling out Micah Parsons like that, I mean, that's going to probably cause some chaos in the locker room if you ask me. But that is just absurd. I mean, that is ridiculous. But that's at number. But Malik Hooker's interview is at number 5. At number 4 is a segment that I've wanted to touch on for some time, and I've touched on it a few times. How about the Jets? I mean, from being the worst team in the NFL to all of a sudden being predicted as Super Bowl contender?
Hold on, wait. Hey! Hey!
I mean, like, what? I mean, for real. For real. I'm for real when I'm saying this. How do we mark a Jets team that has not made the playoffs in 14 years? And also along with being in the segment of having 8 straight losing seasons, how do we put a team like that that is doing awful, that is looking like a swamp, into the Super Bowl contender discussion? I mean, for real, this is ridiculous. I mean, their defense is good, but we need to see Aaron Rodgers actually play first before we come to any foregone conclusions. So this was just, I don't know, it was just so off. I mean, that is absurd. Putting the Jets in there ahead of like the Chiefs, the Bengals, and other teams that are in that in that division, in that conference alone. I mean, that is absurd. That is absurd putting them in the Super Bowl contender conversation. That's number 4. At number 3 is America's team again. How about the Cowboys, huh? I mean, for one, Jerry Jones says they're going all in, but have you gone all in? I mean, really, for real, is this all in to you? making more releases than you have had signings. I mean, this is absurd for Jerry Jones, even for him. Saying that you're going all in where you haven't even done a glimmer of things, only things you've done has signed drafted an overrated old lineman in Tyler Guyton, and also re-signing Ezekiel Elliott, which is probably going to play center again. But we know that the Cowboys always do this, and it should not come as a surprise to some people, but it does to me because the Cowboys, you say you're going all in, but we haven't seen y'all go all in for a long time. That's number three. So, number two, I wanted to put this in here because I took so many fans took some offense to this. How about Russell Wilson and Justin Fields and George Pickens of the Steelers? How about them? I mean, from according to NFL.com, the Russell Wilson, Justin Fields to George Pickens was ranked a top 5 veteran quarterback wide receiver duo.
Huh?
For real. I mean, oh my gosh, I was very heated because how do you put a squad, a quarterback, two quarterbacks, and a receiver that have not even played a single snap together yet in the top 5, ahead of guys like Tua to Tyreek, and also along with to Hurts to AJ Brown, and also along with other ones that I cannot mention at this moment. But how do you put them ahead of them? How do you put Russell Wilson and Justin Fields and George Pickens ahead of those guys? I mean, for real. And the other guys on this list was like Kirk Cousins to Drake London, and also along with CJ Stroud to Stephon Diggs, and also a few other ones that I cannot name. Aaron Rodgers to Mike Williams, and then there was one other ahead of him. I don't know exactly which one it was. But how do you put those guys ahead of him? How do you put those guys ahead of Tua to Tyreek and Hurts to AJ Brown? At least Hurts and AJ Brown have actually been to a Super Bowl. When was the last time that the Steelers have made a Super Bowl? When was the last time they made a Super Bowl? I think it was back in like 2008, if I remember correctly. But that's why I have this at number two. I mean, that is absurd, if you ask me. At number one, this one was the most offensive one out of all of them. How about the 49ers? And the 49ers, at the beginning of the season, according to Football Power Index, and now there's two in this one, being ranked number one in Football Power Index ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, that is one that I am just heated about. How do you rank the Super Bowl runner-up ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs? How do you rank them ahead of them? That are two-time defending Super Bowl champions, by the way. And then that is just ridiculous. That is absurd. The committee absolutely got that wrong. I mean, that is absurd. The number two of the number one is their draft pick at number one. Drafting a guy named Ricky Pearsall.
What? What?
You already had enough receivers to begin with. Why do you waste a 31st overall pick on a guy by the name of Ricky Pearsall out of Florida? Now, the last Florida wide receiver to even be relevant, I don't even know his name, was a long time ago. I know that. And also, how do we think that Ricky Pearsall is going to cover in for Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk unless one of them ends up getting traded? I mean, you could have gotten Travandre Sweat. You could have gotten Jackson Powers Johnson. You could have gotten Cooper DeJean. You could have gotten Cameron Kitchens. You could have landed so many guys. And you passed that up for a wide receiver, which you already have enough of those. And that just makes no sense. That is absurd. And this front office of the 49ers has been doing this for years. And even 49er fans agree in a TPS, Total Pro Sports, I believe is what it's called, TPS, there was this fan reaction that I saw, and it basically definized it all. One people said, and one person said, we some people we always think that we're always going to do good in the draft, and we never do. We never do. And that is that guy's words, not mine. And look it up, people. Look it up. But how do you draft a wide receiver, Ricky Pearsall, when you already have Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and Christian McCaffrey? Answer me that. Ahead of guys like Travandre Sweat, Cameron Kitchens, Cooper DeJean, and Jackson Powers Johnson. How do you rank? How do you pick them ahead of those four guys? That makes no sense to me. No sense to me, and no sense to Nana fans all around. That's those two are number one. But let me know in the comments what you guys think down in the comment section below. Was there a thing in here that I left out? And let me know down in the comments if you agree with my list. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Ciao for now.